Greetings, Dr. Kopcha, and to anyone else who might be listening. My name is Ginny Harvey, and I am just, first of all, thrilled to be able to tell you a little bit about myself. So, thank you for the opportunity. I am a 6-year teacher at Parkview High School in Lilburn, Georgia. It's a part of Gwinnett County Public Schools. I teach AP Psychology mostly, and then a little bit of AP US History. So, little bit about why I'm interested in UGA. First of all, it's the University of Georgia. It's the best of the best as far as research goes, collaboration, conferencing, and also just on another note, I went to UGA. I got my bachelor's in social studies education as well as my bachelor's in history back in 2018. So it's one where I loved my program when I was there. I thought that social studies ed did a really good job at preparing me for being a teacher. It's one where I've been able to take 6 years of being in the classroom and working with students, and to now be able to come back to UGA and share those experiences. I think that is such a powerful thing. Now, as far as instructional design, so a little bit of my backstory of these past 6 years. So, when I left Georgia in 2018, I came to Parkview and I was able to get a year and a half, get my feet wet, get that first year teaching in, go into my second year, and into my second year, that's when the pandemic hit. Now, I'll be honest, when I was at that point, I was 23, almost 24. I wasn't completely sure I wanted to stay teaching, wasn't sure what my career opportunities might look like. The traditional classroom was a struggle and I wasn't so comfortable with it. Then, pandemic hit and my life changed. Everyone's did. But for me as a young teacher, it was a huge impact because suddenly not only am I juggling still being a new teacher, but I'm also struggling with how do I now incorporate technology in my classroom? This question that all teachers were asking themselves that year. I thrived. I loved it. I absolutely loved being able to work alongside my students as we learn together how to use things like Edpuzzle, Padlet, Flipgrid, all of these great tools that I now use in my classroom all the time. And being able to facilitate that for my students was so important. And it's one where from there, I started teaching AP psychology in going into my third year, which was a hybrid year for us. And I just absolutely learned to love it. Talking on Zoom with students, putting them in breakout rooms, and I mean, it was just awesome. And that's what led me to get my master's degree in instructional technology from Kennesaw, starting in spring of 2022. And I'll be graduating in 2 weeks from today on December 14th. And it's one where I would have never found this opportunity were it not for the pandemic. The pandemic didn't just help me, it saved my career and it saved my excitement for learning by being able to learn with these different tools. Now, as far as my specific research topics go, and something I learned along the way through Kennesaw was a couple things. Number one, I loved doing personalized learning. My experience with the academic writing, I can go ahead and say with that, writing my personalized learning endorsement portfolio was one of my favorite things I ever did. Because I was able just to learn how to make my class relevant, which has always been part of my pedagogy, but now I can use that relevancy and incorporate it with technology. So, two of the things that I've considered are authentic and adaptive assessment, particularly authentic learning. Authentic and adaptive assessment to me looks more like something I've seen in other countries be very successful, where you're giving students opportunities to relearn the material and then retest on the material, to mix up the questions and allow students the opportunity to make it authentic to what their needs are. And you need technology for that. The other big one I have is embodied cognition, which has become a new thing of mine with AP Psych. So right here, this is a brain. And one of the things that I like to show with my students is giving them the ability to play. They learn through play. They're learning how to engage with these different tools. They're playing with the brain. They're playing with sensation perception toys. They're eating crickets in class. And I could go on about what these look like. But the point is getting students to be able to attach meaning through play, through kinesthetics, through touch, using their sensations to help them to understand material. So either of these would be great research topics and something that I am personally really interested in. And otherwise, guys, that is all I have for today. Thank you so much.